This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. It's a little show we do every week. We talk about a interesting game Riot Games has put out. It's very fun. I'm quite fond of it, and I know some of you are as well. We have a fantastic amount, a plethora, really, of interesting things this week.
Water Champion.
You have Nautilus.
Water Champion.
The Water Champion. We have a new patch with a bunch of new stuff in there. We have a bunch of skins. More casual tournament coming out. We have
A contest.
Ooh,
for
contest for us. And we have a couple of sales this week as well. A lot of sales, actually. Really big sale week.
Sales at Zales.
He went to Jared.
First thing off is Nautilus, the Titan of the Depths. He is a fun champion, but he's got problems.
Yeah, no, I picked up Nautilus right away. I played around with him a little bit. I picked up a skin for him because I got $25 from Riot. Well, not from Riot, but from a very, very nice person for Valentine's Day. And, yeah, I was very, very happy with it. But Nautilus, he's cool. Let's start on a good note. He is very new and interesting, which is good coming from last week with Ziggs. Ziggs, don't get me wrong, he has some interesting things to him, but he wasn't really new, in my opinion.
The reason why I like Nautilus so much is because he's a tank that isn't reliable solely on teammates. He's able to solo things, and he's able to put out damage in bursts. And that's what I like from tanks I like to play. I like Rammus, I like Maokai, and I like Shen. Those three champions alone, they can deal damage on their own, and they're able to sustain themselves, and they don't require a team to get the maximum benefit of their abilities. Don't get me wrong, he's a great team fighter, but if he's caught alone, he's not as useful. And that's what I like about Nautilus, and he has some fun abilities.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed about Nautilus was obviously his Q. I mean, his ability to get around the lane and to get away and to catch up to people is awesome.
Q.
I mean, whee! Like, with such a big champion, he's so slow. Like, let's just start with this. He's got very low base stats, and that includes movement speed, so he's very slow at the beginning. But going from just sort of a to the just grappling hook, just sliding across the map.
Nautilus away! Spider Nautilus, Spider Nautilus.
It's so awesome. His next ability is, of course, his W, his little shield. Health scaling with a cleave that puts a dot that scales very well with his AP. Awesome ability, very interesting. Long cooldown, though. Next ability, E. Sort of an exploding AoE slow. Very fun ability. Kind of gives him a little bit of range, and maybe if he's getting pushed out of his lane, I was often using it as a really good last hitting tool, because you can make it do a lot of damage to minions or very little if you're careful. So I like that there's kind of some clever tricks you can do with that.
And it's a great mechanism to keep people that are harassing you and kind of slow down their pace, because when you hit that shockwave, as they're walking away, it's following them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that keeps hitting them and keeps hitting them as they're walking away, so it punishes them for coming at you.
Oh, yeah. And finally, his ult. Ult is his coolest ability. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Q.
But this is even better than the Q.
This is like Doom. This is like a little Karthus where it's just like, crap. You just see it coming, and you're just like...
It's like the Caitlyn ult, but reverse, where you want people to move away from you.
It's like when you're running from a brand ult, and you see it slowly moving towards you, just like,
This is not gonna end well. Write my wife and tell her I said goodbye.
It looks awesome. It puts a cool little graphic on the person you targeted, and it just keeps chasing him. I was playing an Ezreal in Dominion today, right? He flashes and then blinked away from it. Behind his John, I just see and it's just chasing him. Finally catches up to him and knocks him and the Janna up. It was hilarious. We caught up to him. We butchered him. I mean, it's a great looking ability. It's really fun and satisfying to use, and they gave it a decent range. I really enjoy it.
And it kind of punishes people from running away into the team fight. You know, when someone gets weak, they back up usually, and then when you do is you throw it on them as they're walking away and as they're blinking. It's gonna follow them, and the longer that they have it and the longer they run away, it's gonna punish the rest of the team for it.
Yeah, and even at close range, because it does do an AoE when it impacts, it's a skill where you don't feel like you have to use it at range. You can use it to blow up a group of people.
Because it's still gonna knock up people.
Mm-hmm. And since it does do that AoE. But Nautilus, let's talk a little bit about builds. The one thing Nautilus does suffer from a lot, very low base stats. Which means your early game, you're going to feel a little bit weaker, which is why I was enjoying him a lot more in Dominion, because you don't necessarily have to have that slow startup. In Dominion, you get all 3 abilities first. You can get all 3 of your abilities first, which is a huge thing for him, and you get a lot more gold. On Summoner's Rift, I was having a lot of trouble just getting started, because I didn't have a lot of lane presence at the start of the game. I didn't have a lot of base stats at the start of the game. So I ended up just sort of biding my time and being a very cautious farmer in top. I was thinking about trying jungle, but I have not yet. I've heard it's really fun, though. But yes, very slow start, so you do kind of have to be ready for that early game. You do have to play cautiously, which is crummy. But as the game goes on, the further it goes on, you become an unstoppable wall of flesh that consumes the very void that all creatures dwell in.
Again, that's why I liked Maokai so much, because he would have this. He wouldn't have as much lane presence at the beginning of the game, but I'd still play solo top. I would just bide my time, and I'd have gold items, gold per 5 items. I'd go pendant, I would go heart of gold, then I'd go pick. Then from there I'd get my boots, and then I'd start building up. And from there, I would snowball into this unstoppable force that was unkillable. I could 5v1 most teams and get out without taking more than half health. And that's what I love, and Nautilus is a reflection of that. He has great incoming abilities, he has great sustaining abilities, he has a shield, and his ultimate is a great team fight ability, and that's what I love about him.
Let's talk a little bit about builds. Nautilus, he encourages a lot of builds. I was sticking around, I was trying out things like Rod of Ages, some CDR items. And so far, what I've found, he scales immensely with HP. Because of the way his W works, it scales off his bonus health. So again, health is always a solid choice on him. I wasn't finding that I oomed a lot, so things like Rod of Ages, and even the Frozen Heart, while they seemed good on paper, I mean, bonus health, lots of AP, armor, they seemed good. I didn't end up needing the mana, so a lot of that item usage felt wasted. I was also trying things like Gnasher's Tooth for the attack speed, which wasn't terrible. I mean, I got a Gnasher's Tooth, that's 25% CDR, and it brings his attack speed up to 1.0.
And it benefits both off of his passive and with the shield.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool, but so far what I've found is going for sort of a hybrid high CDR, high HP build with some AP thrown in is really the most beneficial to him. You don't need a whole lot of attack speed because his W, the dot is over 2 seconds. So if you're attacking more often, you're not getting more damage out of the dot, you're just applying it more often, which isn't necessarily a good thing. So I find that stacking AP over attack speed was definitely the better thing. And health was always good for him. I mean, it always scales with your W, keeps you in the fight longer. Fantastic. And CDR is almost a must because his cooldowns are very high, and it can be very punishing because if his cooldowns are down, if you don't have any abilities, you're not doing damage. It's just the flat truth, unfortunately.
You're just slowly building that CC up, but you're just like, I'm gonna slow you down, but I can't do anything to you.
Which is why I found items like Frozen Mallet to be the best thing I could get, was just because once my abilities were down, they were either going to run away or they're going to destroy me. And Frozen Mallet would prevent them from destroying me, and it would prevent them from running away while I waited for my abilities to cool. So I find that to be the cornerstone ability, but I don't know, play around guys, if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them, because this is a champion I'd like to play a little bit more.
Oh, definitely, he's going to be one of those champions that sticks around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike Ziggs, where after his 2 weeks were up, people just kind of backed off.
Well, people still playing, but he just...
I didn't see him as often after the first week.
Well, there you go. So what do you give him?
I give him an 8, bordering 8.5. There we go, 8.5.
You're always with the 0.5s.
I just can't give him a 9 because of the cooldown and him starting out with low stats, or else I'd give him a 9. And if it was really me and the whole water thing, it would be a 10. But 8.5 seems reasonable enough for me.
I'm going to go with a 7. I mean, I like him a lot. I really do. But the cooldowns are very, very punishing. So he doesn't feel very friendly, and his early game is just... It hurts. It's very painful. You're very vulnerable to ganks. You just got to play very, very delicately, and that's not something I really enjoy.
Especially with a tank, you should be very...
Yeah, no, as a tank, he starts with 12 armor. That's how low his stats are.
And that's with masteries.
No, without masteries.
Without masteries? Oh, I thought it was with masteries.
Yeah, he starts with 12 armor, and it's frightening how little abuse he can take early level. So punishing cooldowns in a really slow early game, but other than that, I really, really like him. I definitely would give him a try, at least in free week, guys. He's enjoyable.
Is it his joke or is his dance?
It's his joke.
He smacks the anchor down and then he starts defying gravity.
all of his emotes are hilarious. So if you do play them, definitely check them all out.
Spam emotes. It's a great time.
Oh yeah. Moving on to the next big thing this week, we have the patch that dropped.
Very punishing and rewarding patch at the same time.
Yeah, Shen got buffed into like S tier. Shen is an amazing champion now. He is so frightening. I hope you guys haven't had to fight a really good Shen.
Shenbot just became 10 times harder.
It's really, Shen is crazy good right now.
I'm kind of glad Shen's back in this game because Shen is a really good tank. It used to be like, you see a Shen, you're like, okay, this is going to be a good game.
Now it's like, oh, Shen's going to eat my children.
Jolly Green, that was the first champion he started playing, and he stopped playing Shen, mainly because of the fact that after a while, they just started hammering to the ground. Mm-hmm. Same with Mundo, and lately, it's just like, looking at his list, it's just like, Mundo got a major buff, Shen gets a major buff, Jarvan got a buff. It's just like, this is starting to become more of a melee fight.
Oh yeah, they nerfed a couple of things this week. They gave a big nerf to Cassiopeia, which is kind of a bummer. I really enjoyed Cassiopeia. She was really
She was
strong.
at a good place.
Yeah, she was a strong mage, and they kind of knocked her down a little bit. Rise, they hurt a little bit. Soraka and Sona were the big ones, though.
Why do they have to hurt these champions so much?
It's the meta game right now, is having an unshakable bot with an AD and a support, and it was kind of ridiculous with Sona and Soraka. Very strong support characters, very difficult to push out of the lane. So I do enjoy this. I mean, I hate the support AD bot because nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's very boring. And I'm glad they're kind of changing it so they can't quite be as unshakable.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but it's just, if it sucks if you're playing support and just because of the metagame, you're losing so much support and so much utility, it's not worth playing a support so much anymore. Because they're just removing your heals, they're removing your sustainability early game. And I play solo bottom Taric sometimes when I have to. And it sucks because I lose so much early game because of this DPS combo that it's just like that one situation just ruins me.
Mm-hmm. Warwick they buffed a little bit. Vladimir they nerfed. And they also kind of nerfed GP a little bit. Taking down some of these characters that were pretty strong, really good sustain. Warwick they did buff. Warwick was kind of a character that was needed a little bit. Warwick's sort of been falling behind, so that's interesting to see. Vladimir, I don't know why they nerfed him. Vladimir's not doing too hot. And GP... I'm glad GP got knocked down a little bit. I hate GP.
Some interesting things. Baron Nashor can no longer critically strike, which is kind of a nice thing.
That was the scary thing. Is you just be like, all right, I'm tanking Baron, and they double crits you, and it's just. But
you're at low health and you're standing in like his AoE. You're just like, this sucks.
But they did buff his total damage, so it's going to be a little bit harder to kill him, but that's okay.
And finally, when you disconnect, there is a 5-minute delay before the enemy team knows you have disconnected. Which I kind of appreciate that. Kind of gives your enemy team thinking that he's jungling or he's hiding somewhere for 5 minutes before disconnection. Unless when your team guy goes, alright, our guy DC, it's like, you don't tell them that. Then they're going to push really hard.
Exactly. Another really cool thing that I like this patch is... the fact that after someone Q dodges, there will be 8 seconds where you don't re-Q. Oh, this is such a good change. There have been so many times where someone has dodged, and I'm like, alright, well, I don't really feel like playing now. Or like after a ranked game, when you've like got 5 people picked, and you got a really crummy team, and you thank God that someone dodged, and you get instantly re-queued with those same people. You get 8-second window where you can drop out of queue now. It's awesome. I'm so glad that they
There's
put
certain
that in.
times where I get kicked out of game. It's like, well, I'm running out of time. Maybe I shouldn't have queued. Maybe I should go into a bot.
And it immediately
and then
re-queues.
or not even that. There's that window where it's like you're about to queue, so you're spamming the X button. It's like you're not leaving this without. It's like, oh, leave, let me leave, please.
I don't know. I like a lot of the utility with this patch. It's very nice.
So let us know what you guys think of the patch. If there's anything you would enjoyed about it. If you're a Shen player, let us know.
Ooh. We got a couple of new skins. We got...
Last week, we got the new Leona skin.
Ooh, Iron Salade.
Which was weird, because they didn't bring it out at a normal time. They're just like halfway through the week after the podcast, they're like, oh, by the way, we have a Leona skin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an avid Leona player. I've seen the skin in-game. It looks great. I'm thinking about picking it up. It's a very nice-looking skin, but I don't know if it beats Valkyrie in my eyes.
It doesn't beat... Valkyrie looks really good, but it tops the other skin.
Oh, yeah.
That one, it wasn't clean enough for me. It looked very rugged, and I didn't like it. But this one has the same feel to it, and it's a lot...
It's very polished.
Cleaner.
It's very high detail. I would check it out, guys. The other one we got is, of course,
Valentine Vayne.
Is that what we're calling it now? This is a skimpy costume for Vayne, because she...
didn't need any more.
She needed one so she could catch up with Misfortune. They've been given hooker skins to all the AD ranged, and I guess it was Vayne's turn. She was after Ashe, of course. And fits the Valentine's theme, and it kind of goes along with all of the cool sales we're having for all the Valentine-themed skins. Which ones are those, by the way? Which ones are on sale for Valentine's? Oh, this is the coming up sales. Yeah, weren't the Valentine ones? Are they already over?
I think so.
Darn. Well, hope you guys got your 5th Age Terra cap off, huh? But what are the sales coming up for this week?
We have Infiltrator Irelia.
A pretty nice looking skin. A lot of my friends have the superhero one, and I think that one looks similar, if not the same, to this one. Still a solid looking skin. Definitely a different look for Irelia.
Grungy Nunu.
This is Sesame Street themed skin for Nunu. There are not a lot of Nunu players left, and that's mostly because he's not very good. But
he's one of those champions that needs rework. Bad.
It's definitely a nice looking skin, but it's not amazingly nice. But if it's on sale, I mean, for $487, it's not terrible.
What's better than a giant cookie monster punching you in the face?
That's true.
And finally, Secret Agent Misfortune.
Misfortune skins, they all sort of have the same theme.
This one doesn't have a hat.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the goofy hat, so really, if that's sort of the thing you're looking for, it's definitely the one for you.
Now we have a lot of champion sales this week. We have Fizz, Rumble, Karthus, Nidali, and Twisted Fate.
These are all sort of champions that are kind of AP-centric. I mean, even Twisted Fate. They're all kind of different roles in terms of what their AP is for. Fizz is sort of a weavy in-and-out poker with a lot of AP and mean auto attacks. Rumble is a resourceless, tanky AP with a lot of, just a lot of upfront damage, a lot of unexpected damage, and just unshakable in the lane phase. Karthus is just balls-to-the-wall DPS with an amazing ult and one of the best passives in the game. He is so frightening to go against a good version of. He is very strong and rewards high skill play. Nidali is a support with a lot of different options in terms of builds. She's very, very strong in the meta right now with Battle Cat.
Battle Cat. Meow, meow, meow.
It's really scary, actually. Twisted Fate. He's supposed to be an AD, but he scales very well with AP, and because of his kind of low range, you really got to play carefully with him, but his AP can be very, very good. There are often times where I wish I really had a fun and really good APTF player to play with, because you don't see him very often, and I just wish I had someone who would play APTF with me, because it's fun and good gold cards are awesome.
Especially with the fact that he won't instantly throw gold cards at minions now. It's a good time to play.
Oh yeah, they fixed his gold card bug. It's completely fixed. There are no times where it bugs out.
Ever.
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 Ever. We don't normally talk about tournament information stuff, guys, but there is an Alienware tournament comes up. We did this one a while ago. It was pretty fun.
It was fun while there weren't computer problems. And
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for something sort of casual that you can set up with a couple of friends, this one's definitely pretty easy to do. They give you a lot of liberty in terms of when
we got a free Shadow Choga skin.
Yeah, in terms of when you can set up, when you want to play. So if you're looking for sort of a casual tournament, and maybe you just test the waters a little bit, this is definitely the one to try, guys. So if you're looking to maybe test out tournament play, I would try this one. It's all online, so you don't have to be anywhere. You just maybe have to set up a time over the weekend or whatever.
Just be careful how you set up times. When we started the tournament, the people spammed us 8 or 9 times on times to play without getting it settled. And then when we finally agreed to a time, they never showed up, and then they wanted a rematch after we sent in everything, and it was kind of like, really?
It was a little goofy. But
other than that, it's pretty smoothly ran, and everything is done through, programs. So it sets up where to play, passwords, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. That's all the official news this week, guys. We're going to move on to our own section here.
First thing we want to talk about, guys, is the new contest we're doing. It's nothing elaborate, it's nothing really hard, and it doesn't involve us unless you want it to. It's on the forums, and what we're asking is, make your own champion. What's your dream champion? We talked about ours a couple weeks ago, our champions and kind of what we want to do. And so we're giving you the opportunity to put it in an open thing and kind of have it judged and see what we think of other interesting champions.
And we're kind of a couple of requirements for what you must have for these champions. First of all, you have to have a full ability list. This includes a passive, Q, W, and E, and of course, your ults. That's 5 things in total that they have to have. And you also need to have either a picture or a description of what they look like. If you're not artistically inclined, just write out what they look like. You don't necessarily have to draw anything, but a picture or a description of what they look like. Optional things you can throw in a lore piece. You can say, how they're in Valorant, how they joined the league or whatever. But that is optional. You don't have to do that. But what you need, picture, full ability list, including a passive.
Brownie points are allowed.
Ooh.
I just want to bring that out there. If there's something you think we would like, that does help. I know.
Watery Axis, the champion from the depths.
We will be handing out 3 gift cards, depending on our top 3. Depending on how many people entered, that will be the amount of prizes. But the minimum are 3 $10 gift cards to Riot Games, or $10 gift cards to anything else you might need, Amazon, anything like that. Or we will raise it up if you can get more people. Get as many entries as you can, 1 entry per person. We will end this sometime later. We will announce that.
Yeah, things will happen at some point. We promise.
Just like the Axis Cup. Yeah. We did not know when it would end.
Oh, gosh. But that's going to move on to our next section, which is our questions.
How is the Axis Cup dealing with questions?
You know what?
Stuff we never talk about ever again.
It's like those children in the basement. Just don't bring them up.
You just brought them.
Dang it. Our first question this week comes from Dog the Grey.
Doc the Grey.
Whatever. His question is, after seeing Ziggs for 2 weeks, and I'm now wondering what your feelings are having been playing him. I've found a few people calling him OP, but I haven't really seen him be that bad. Also, when playing Ziggs, what would be your suggestions for item builds and building? He has been building, Doc the Grey in this case, been building cooldown with Morelos. But like another good choice to give him cooldowns and mana so that we could fight the mana issues that he seems to be having.
Well, we kind of talked about builds on our last episode, so we won't really go over that.
But Ziggs, I don't consider him OP. Like we kind of said in our initial review, a strong poker. He's got a lot of damage, but his utility is really lacking. And like you're saying, his cooldowns are a little bit high, and his mana consumption can be a little reckless. But I don't find him OP. All of his damage is there, but you really got to sort of manage your cooldowns and mana, which is important on any caster, but Ziggs more so because until you get really capped abilities, your cooldowns are going to be a little bit punishing.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt too. It's just, he is a great poker in early game. He is very aggressive. That's where most of the people feel like he's OP. It's because he outranges a lot of other people.
And he can chuck things over minions is another big thing.
Yeah, and besides that, he's not really OP. It's just people are raging about that and they can't handle it. He's not OP. He's a good champion. but he's just lackluster in the cooldown reduction, stuff like that. So he's not OP. He's in the mediocre range at best right now.
Yeah. Just a lot of people enjoy him because he's easy in a sense that because he's not utility loaded, you don't have to worry about maybe checking for brush, or you don't have to worry about setting up combos. You just throw your things at people. And the biggest worry you have is if you set your satchel charge down right. But thank you for the question. And as far as build options would go, AP. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
CDR.
AP and CDR. Mana issues can be completely absolved with rationing. And really, if it's that big of an issue, get a tier early. I mean, it's pretty easy. Next thing comes from Mini Nugget. Yes. Here's a question. With tanky DPS meta making its rounds, people say that build Blood Razor is the best way to counter this. Considering that Madrid's does magic damage on its shred, magic resistance counter this very well. I think we need a new item to poke back at bruisers.
Well, we already have Thornmail and we do have Blood Razor. But I do feel like with this melee metagame coming in, they might need another item to counter this very aggressive high attack speed damage building.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been a big fan of magic resistance. I mean, I played Dota way back in the day, and I mean, I probably bring this up too much, but
back in my day, we played Dota on Warcraft 3.
Back in Dota, there was no way to improve the damage on spells, which sucked, and there were a ton of ways to mitigate magic damage, which also sucked. And so in League of Legends, the thing about ability power is that there are a ton of ways to build magic resistance. Not as many as armor, granted, but it's very easy to get up to 200 magic resistance, even 150, which is a crippling blow to a lot of magic damage users. I mean, Veigar, if you get up to 100 magic resistance early game, which is pretty easy. I mean, you get your Merc Treads and you have some MR runes, he's done. I mean, he's shut out for a while. So I do think that one of the biggest things I think that would have an effect on the DPS meta would just be lowering the amount of magic resistance people would get. I mean, while that is kind of a short-sighted solution, that would help with the Blood Razor issue, and that would mean they wouldn't have to make another item to kill tanky DPS, because the best way to kill tanky DPS is just to dogpile them, and then let's carries shred you. So I don't know that there's a new item they can introduce, because I mean, really, if they're building resistance tanking and you have an item that just pierces their soul, that seems a little crazy. But right now, the best you can do really is like Vayne and Norella, and I wish there were more options.
If you're thinking about an item that could somewhat blister through these tanky DPS, is give an item that's really high of a cost, kind of like around the range of Trinity Force or something like that. It takes a lot of high-powered requirements with AD, and then give it a 1% true damage. 1%. That would just be enough, that it wouldn't be overpowered, would be enough to deal a lot of damage and kind of bust through them. But not like 3 or 4, but just 1 or 2%.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of an idea I had for a long time, was like a new ability power item, where it would apply a dot similar to like Brand's passive, but it was true damage. Like it'd be like, like 40 or 50 AP and some mana regen, and it'd have the effect where, almost like Executioner's Calling, where whenever you hit someone with a spell, it would apply a burning effect for like 4% of true damage of their maximum health over a couple of seconds. With, of course, sort of something like J4's passive, where they can't be affected by it again for a certain amount of time.
That would definitely work. It would be the best way to kind of counter things.
And it would make mages prevalent. It would make them valuable. If they can set people on fire for true damage, it'd be awesome.
I kind of agree with that.
But
I
yes,
really do.
Getting away from the question, I do think there should be more options to counter tanky DPS other than Blood Razor, because it's easy to get magic resistance. So really the only way to poke back at them is to either get penetration items, like your Void Staff, run characters like Trundle, who just eat their things.
Soul.
But if you have to build the counter that hard for one character, I think there's a little bit of a balance issue. So yes, I do hope there is a better way to counter tanky DPS. And that's it for our own questions this week, guys. Thank you for really cool questions this week. I really
new
appreciate
questionnaires this week. I'm really excited about that.
We always love questions, guys, so please, please, please post any questions you have about the game, about us, about
What we have for
Vampire
lunch.
Diaries.
Oh, I love the Vampire Diaries.
Put them in the comments section below. Send them to our email at spazticgaming@gmail.com or post them in our forums. All the links for that stuff is down below in the section below.
As well as the contest rules.
As well as the contest rules. And, yeah, we're happy to get them. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Go, do the contest. We'd love... I'm looking
10
forward
minutes
to
of your time.
You know, looking forward to seeing cool entries for that. And, yeah. This has been Axis.
And Water Elemental.
And, no speech this week, but I do like pancakes.
I've been playing way too much Twisted Metal, and it's depressing me, actually. Too much nostalgia.
Twisted Metal. I prefer straight metal.
Eh.